The fight against COVID-19 will come down, some believe, to our ability to create a vaccine and also to test effectively. Two developments on that front in Canada this week. Health Canada has begun the first approval of submission from one maker of a vaccine, and Health Canada also approved Abbott Labs' rapid testing device, or at least began the initial review of it. Anita Anand is the Minister of Public Services and Procurement. She's with us now. Thank you very much for being with us, Minister. And let's start with the testing device, because testing has become such a focal point for so many people with long lines and worries about their children and not being able to go to school. How close are we to getting that rapid testing device out in the market in Canada?
Well, as you know, we concluded the contract this week and announced it for 7.9 million tests to arrive in Canada within the next weeks. And we should be expecting 2.5 million of those tests before the new year. And so we are really putting the push on at the federal government level, not just with Abbott, Amanda, but with a number of other rapid test suppliers, so that we have supplements to the current standardized testing regime.
And what do you say to people, and you will have heard this left, right, and center, Minister, about who complained that we weren't better prepared for this resurgence in the fall? We knew it was coming, that we weren't better able to test everybody who needs to be tested.
Well, Amanda, I can tell you, from PPE to vaccines to rapid test kits, we have been on the go from the very beginning, procuring from suppliers all around the globe, including with here in Canada, to make sure that we have the supplies and tests right here in Canada where we need them. And as I said, we are engaged with rapid test suppliers within Canada and around the world. This contract with Abbott is not the first rapid test contract that we have in place. We also had a contract with Gen Expert, the parent company being Cepheid, and we procured tests that went to vulnerable communities earlier in the spring. And so I'm telling you and the Canadian population that we have been on this, and we're continuing to make procurements in this area. And I will say that the provinces are also very active in PPE and testing strategies, because it is the provinces, in fact, that are rolling out these strategies, and the federal government has been here to support the provinces in this effort.
So when we think about a vaccine, are you confident that Canada is, and that one of the relationships we have is with a vaccine that appears to be one of the early leaders, the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. Are you confident that Canada will be among the first in line, Canadians, to get their hands on a vaccine when it becomes available at mass production?
Well, let me tell you that we have 6 contracts in place with vaccine developers, and those contracts provide us with up to 282 million doses for Canadians. Some of those are under options, which Canada will exercise at its own discretion if the need be. And so the answer to your question is yes, I am confident. We are very well placed in terms of our contracts and our abilities to get vaccines into Canada once they pass Health Canada approval. Very aggressive in this area, Amanda. Our contracts have been in place, and we are at the forefront of vaccine procurement in the world in terms of doses at our disposal.
Minister, we are now in parts of this country in a second wave, without question, and we're seeing the beginnings of targeted but serious rollbacks in restrictions. Are we prepared from your point of view? Do we have what we need in place in every single way if we should see a kind of return to what we saw in the spring?
Well, from the very beginning, Amanda, as the Minister of Public Services and Procurement, I have stated that we need to put into place long-term contracts which enable us to secure PPE over the short and the long term. And I did that with my department because we were thinking that we may be into a second wave like we seem to be in now. And as a result of those contracts, Amanda, we have secured access for up to 2 billion pieces of PPE. And now Minister Baines has announced that over 40% of that PPE in terms of our contracts by dollar value are being produced right here in Canada. And so the answer to your question is yes, we are prepared. We are prepared. We knew that the second wave would be coming, and we put in place these contracts both domestically and internationally with a diverse range of suppliers to make sure that we are prepared for a second wave.
One of the areas people are worried about are the most vulnerable, seniors and long-term care homes. Is it your feeling that we learned what we needed to learn in the spring and that those places are safer for our seniors?
Well, again, this is an ongoing conversation between the federal government and the provinces who have jurisdiction over this area. What the federal government has been trying to do, for example, in sending in the military, for example, in putting in place a $19 billion Safe Restart agreement with the provinces, is to be there for the provinces, to support them through this pandemic in every way possible. And that $19 billion was followed up with another $2 billion for the back to school effort that we knew the provinces and territories were engaged with. So again, Amanda, our role is to continue to support the provinces and territories, work collaboratively with them, and every step of the way, whether it has been supports for businesses announced today by Justin Trudeau and Melanie Joly, for example, whether it is small businesses or large businesses, rent relief, the CEBA, students, and the healthcare professionals from PPE to vaccines. The list goes on, Amanda, and we are really very, very firm that we need to be there for Canadians, and we will continue to do that every step of the way.
All right, we appreciate your time today, Minister. Thank you very much. Anita Anand is Canada's Minister of Public Services and Procurement.